Alright guys, I think I want to talk about Rock first. So we see Rock, the episode starts up. We see Rock. Rock is at the new stash house. You guys remember remember when she got those two apartments? So the one on top of each other, right? So she's there. She's at the elevator trying to go up, and there's a lady that says, "Oh, baby, the elevator's out." She says, "Oh yeah, I've been here 5 times, and I keep forgetting that." She's like, "I've been here for 40 years." I'm like, "Wait a minute, that elevator been out that goddamn long, girl?" No. So Rock goes upstairs, and there is the apartment manager there, right? So he's going off about the fact that, Rock is making all of these renovations to the apartment, and the inspector is at the place saying that, you can't do anything without approval. You don't own this place, you're just renting it, basically, right? So he tells her that she needs to repair the apartment and put it back to its prior condition, or else she'll be in trouble, right? So she asks him, okay, what do I need to do to, kind of smooth this over, right? He says, okay. He wants to meet her. He wants to meet her later alone. I'm like, oh God, Rock, girl, please do not do that. Like, of all things, don't do that. I know you a badass, but Rock don't. So then we see her later in the episode. She went to the bodega, right? And she was talking to Julia, right? Julia, I was looking at her. I was like, damn, your husband literally beats the fuck out of you, right? So Rock says to her that she wants to talk to her cousin. And, Julia's like, you got to talk to Gabriel about that, but I want you to know that Gabriel hates my family. And Rock says, I'm not talking to Gabriel, I'm talking to you. And I just realized something with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that make sense of why she was talking to her. Let's get into that, right? So it's really interesting with reviewing this show, right? I'm trying to get the stuff together so that way everything makes sense. So the reason why Rock went to talk to Julia is because earlier, at one point in the episode, Marvin put up on his guys, right? They were supposed to get a re-up, but Dean never showed to that re-up, right? So then Marvin, he's talking to Lulu and to Rock, right? He's saying, I've been dealing with Dean for 5 years. Dean has never missed a re-up. So Rock says some shit is going down, and unfortunately they're the last ones to know what's going on, right? So Marvin says that at this point we're running on fumes, and that we can't keep stretching because we're almost out at this point. So Rock she tells Lou, I want you to pull up on Greasy, and she tells Marvin, I want you to pull up on Prime, right? So they agree to that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out real quick, and then we'll move forward. So Marvin told Lulu, fuck him in his showcase, right? And he says, for you to tell me fuck me in my showcase, your daughter's performing in my showcase, and we'll talk about the showcase in just a little bit, right? So then we saw Rock, right? So Rock, she actually pulled up on Dean, right? And Dean tells her that their business is done at this point, right? And he says to her that, her competitors agreed to 20% premium to get his supply and her supply. And she was like, oh, so Unique is going to do that, right? So he's paying you 20% for mine and his. He was like, yeah. He says, and also, I don't trust you. And he's talking about the fact that, you guys remember, which episode was that? When they busted Unique when he was getting his drop. So he doesn't trust her for that. So then, also with Rock, we saw her at one point. She was giving Kanan an edge up, and she was asking him how his class is going with Symphony, right? He says, I like the class. I like Symphony. He keeps it real, and he teaches the stuff that matters, right? So then she says to him, so when were you going to tell me that you got scooped up by the cops? He asked her, how did she know? She says, Scrap told me. And she asked him, like, what did the cops say to you? He says, oh, all he did was he just wanted to know what my birthday was. And he just wanted to know, he wanted to know what my name was and my birthday. And he told me that, he knew you, right? So then he tells her that Symphony picked him up, and she asked him, why didn't you tell me? Or stuff like that, right? I don't know if Kanan doesn't realize, but the more you lie to her, the harder it is for her to trust you. And in this game, that's not good to not be able to trust somebody that, one, he's your child, but damn. Kanan just fucking up, right? Left and right, left and right, left and right. So later on, we see Rock. So you guys remember I told you guys that the inspector wanted to meet up with her. So she met up with his nasty ass, and she was like, you know what? She put some money on the table and paid the man off, right? He wants more than just that. So she's like, that's all you getting. Like, you ain't getting nothing else from me. I'm like, damn, Rock, why did you just go see this man? Like, go with some backup, go with a gun, go with something. So he tried to force his way onto her, right? But I'm glad my girl fought back and she hit him. She clocked that nigga over the head, right? So then we later see Marvin. She called Marvin to come over and finish the job. And I was like, when I saw Marvin finish the job, I was like, oh my God. Marvin is another Tommy. I mean, he put the man in the wall behind some installation. Is that going to mask the smell of a dead body? And he put 2 nails in the man's head. I was like, oh God. Jesus Christ. That's what you get, you pig. But let's move on. All right, guys. Next up, let's talk about Howard, right? So Howard, he pulled up on his doctor. I'm like, dude, you pulled up on this woman. I'm like, you lucky she ain't got no gun, pepper spray, mace, taser, any shit like that. Like, you just walking up on this woman. Like, I would have popped, sprayed, something. Like, you don't just walk up on people like that, right? So he's talking to the doctor, right? He is giving her hypotheticals, which is technically not a hypothetical. So he's asking her, what if he had a son, right? She said, but you told me that you didn't have any family members. He said, let's just play the what if game, basically, right? He says, would he be able to give me some, would he be able to give the bone marrow? She says, well, he's a half match, but we could do, she said they could do something and it could help him. It'll put him in a better position than what he's currently in. So it increases his odds. But she asked him, like, how old is he? He said he's 15. She says, well, typically when it comes to bone marrow, they have to be over the age of 18, right? And if they're under the age of 18, then their parent or guardian has to consent to this. I'm like, well, good luck with that one, Howard. I don't know if my girl Rock is going to agree to that one, because that would mean she would have to tell Kanan that he's not an actual Stark, that he's your son. And then the whole, I mean, that would not be good on any level for her or for Kanan. So, yeah, good luck with that one, Howard. So then we found out that Howard called in sick because the boss called Burke in, right? And asked her, what did she do to him? She says, I didn't do shit to him. It's probably his damn lifestyle, drinking, smoking, his terrible eating habits is probably finally caught up to him, right? So then the boss says that they are short and that, she's either on the desk or she can go out alone, but he doesn't really want her to go out alone. So she says that she has this lead to follow up on. I'm like, girl, your ambition might get you killed. So he tells her basically not to fuck it up out there. I'm like, good luck with that one. I don't know if little mama gonna be able to hold on to that one, but yeah, we gonna talk about her a little bit more in depth as we get into the episode, because we gonna play. You know what I want? I wonder. We'll talk about it because I'm thinking about something. I wonder, but let's move on. All right, guys. Next up, let's talk about Lulu. So Lulu and Jessica. So they are at the spot where they're gonna have the showcase, right? So Jessica is telling Lulu basically that, this is all happening because of him. Because he's footing the bill for every damn thing. He's footing the bill for the lighting. He's footing the bill for whatever's on the truck that needs to come off. So he's footing the bill for everything at this point. I'm like, well, damn. Crown, are you broke? Or, you know what? Crown has a drug addiction. No, but Crown does have a drug addiction. So I'm like, damn. Is Crown spending all his money on the drugs? Like, shit. Like, why don't you have money to pay these people? Okay, Crown. Because I'm thinking about Crown. Crown does not work for a label. Crown doesn't work for a label. Crown has his own label. So I'm like, damn, you got this studio. How did you get this studio? And drugs, huh? So then we see, Rock is there, right? And she's asked Lou if, he got a crew to move the weight during the party. Lou was like, that's not what we do. We ain't doing this here tonight. She was like, the fuck you mean? Like, that weight and that money coming from that weight was footing the bill for this shit. Like, the fuck. So like I said, the one guy came and talked to him about getting the stuff off the truck. He paid that. Another guy for the light. He's like, I'm talking to my sister. Like, let me talk to her real quick. Like, my bad, bro. My bad. So he leaves, right? So Lou says to Rock that he wants this event to be clean, right? He doesn't want to tie he doesn't want to tie this business to their other businesses, right? And they'll have the same problems. But like she said, that business is paying for this shit. So whatever. So then we see, but she's like, you know what, cool. So then, but she's like, unique people gonna be here and they gonna be doing it. He's like, I'm gonna take care of that, right? So we see Lou. He went to go talk to Unique, right? And he tells him that he needs the show to be clean, so no slinging, basically, right? So it threw me for a loop when he agreed to it. I'm like, really? Unique just agreed to this shit. I'm like, it's a trap. I'm like, this is not. He agreed to this, right? He said he'll do it only if Rock is down. I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't buy that. I don't buy that one bit. So once Lulu does leave, Nick tells his boy and Scrap that they gonna light that motherfucker up. I'm like, exactly. I knew it was a setup with that one. I just didn't buy that. Like, it was too easy. In my personal opinion, I just felt like it was too easy. Way too easy. Let's move on, you guys. Alright, guys, let's talk about Kanan and Marvin. So Kanan saw Marvin as he was leaving the house, and he wants to talk to him, right? So Kanan took him to this gas station where he's telling him where they can sell the weight. I'm like, oh. See, Kanan. With Kanan, I get Kanan. I get his ambition and his drive, right? I get that, but damn. It's like you going behind your mama's back. And again, like I said, that is why Rock feels like she can't trust Kanan, because you doing the sneaky shit, and she, I mean, damn, does he really not get that? And Marvin, honestly, I feel like at some point, I don't know if it's gonna be Rock that'll have to kill her brother, but I don't see Marvin lasting that long. I really don't. I don't see Marvin lasting a long time on this show. I feel like somebody's gonna take Marvin out. I don't know who it's gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised if it is Rock that takes him out, but yeah, somebody's gonna definitely 100%, without a doubt, take Marvin out. So we later see Marvin as he pulls up on some guys saying, or asking them, are they ready to put in the work? They're like, yeah, like, what corners we gonna be on? He's like, you ain't gonna be on the corners. You're gonna work on the highways. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Like I said, Marvin. Yeah, Marvin is not gonna last that long. I don't see it. You guys can let me know what you guys think. Like, let me know what you guys think, definitely. But the way Marvin moves, it's the way that Marvin moves. And the funny thing is, Marvin is the oldest. The oldest. Then it's Rock, and then it's Lulu. But your baby brother and your little sister are running the game, and they telling you what to do. But like I said, once again, it's because of he's headstrong. You know what Marvin is, like I just said a few minutes ago, the way he killed that inspector is like, Marvin is Tommy in this situation. Marvin is Tommy. But I don't think Marvin has the survival instincts that Tommy has. I don't think he does. But like I said, Marvin is headstrong. Marvin thinks first, then thinks about the consequences later, which is a Tommy thing. You know what? I'm actually ready to see Tommy's spinoff show, to see how he survives with the death of Ghost. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna put this one scene in there that didn't really flow in the episode for me. So I don't know where to put it. But we saw the scene where Kanan and Fame, like I said, everybody, it's the showcase, right? So we see them out there passing out flyers, right? In this scene, you can tell that Fame is feeling the hell out of himself, but I'm like, you ain't even done nothing yet to be feeling yourself so strong, but he feeling himself. So then we see Juke, right? So Juke is at home and she's watching, TV, and then the doorbell rings and it's Nicole. So Nicole comes in and she says that, she's like, on my way over here, people were asking me, was I lost? So then Nicole's talking about, her mom and the reaction that her mom had to Juke, right? She's like, my mom would have had that reaction even if it was another person, right? No, your mama would not have had that reaction if it was a white girl. She would have had a reaction, no doubt. Your mama would have had a reaction, but your mama wouldn't have had that strong of a reaction if Juke was a white girl. She would have been mad. She's like, Nicole, oh my God, you're a lesbian? She would have had a reaction. But the repellent comment and all that kind of shit, it's like she wanted to call Juke a nigga, but she couldn't get the words out of her mouth. So no, it wouldn't have been a different reaction, right? But Nicole says she wants to be with Juke. So then we see Nicole and Juke, right? They're out and they're putting up the flyers as well. And they're being watched by Burke. So once Nicole gets, Juke puts Nicole on the bus so that Nicole can go home. After that, that's when Burke walked up on Juke trying to have, friendly conversation with Juke, right? Talking about she's investigating D-Wiz, and that if she wants to talk about that or anything else, that she can talk to her. I'm like, oh. I'm like, so, Burke, are you a lesbian? Or are you playing like you're a lesbian? And that's what I was talking about a few minutes ago when I was thinking. I'm like, because you guys remember, in the original Power, Juke was a dirty cop. Juke had turned into a dirty cop. So I'm wondering, how did Juke get into law enforcement, right? So I'm wondering if maybe her and Burke sparked up a friendship or even a relationship. I'm hope it wasn't a relationship, because girl, Kanan is 15. Juke is 1 year older than Kanan, so she's 16 at this point. Girl, I'm hoping you didn't have an inappropriate relationship with a kid, but it's plausible. So I'm wondering if somehow that she got involved in. I'm wondering if she got involved in law enforcement because of this chick. They may have sparked up a friendship, a kinship, or some kind of relationship. I'm just wondering. But let me know what you guys think about that, and we'll discuss it and we'll move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So we see everyone is there. We see Kanan and Rock. They're getting ready for the showcase. This is actually Rock's dress. I'm like, oh, you got a little freakum dress. This is when she was going to meet with the inspector, which I've already discussed that. So Kanan apologized to her for calling Symphony, but he's actually defending Symphony because he likes him, but Rock is just not feeling it, right? So then she tied his tie, although she said she didn't know how to tie a tie. I was like, okay, I guess. So like I said, they start to show up at the showcase. Burke, she's outside watching everyone. I'm like, girl, okay, I don't know if that's that smart, but go off, right? So Fame, he comes in and he sees Laverne and Nicole talking, right? So he starts to hit on Nicole. I'm like, oh, Juke, how you gonna play this off? Like, he doesn't know that you gay. How you gonna play this off? But she played it off. She laid into his ass, I know that much. And then she ran and threw up because at this point, Juke is nervous about going on stage. So then Kanan shows up and Nicole tells Fame, let's let him talk, because she told Kanan, like, go talk to your cousin. He's like, but she's not going to want to talk to me. She's like, she'll want to talk to you. So then he does go and talk to her, and he apologizes to Juke for what he said to her, in the last episode. And they make up with each other, right? And he's able to talk Juke out of the bathroom. So Rock, remember I told you, she went and she was with old boy, the inspector. So she finally shows up and Symphony comes up to her. She ordered a drink and she walks away. So then Symphony following behind her and she grilled Symphony, right? Now Rock, you guys know I love me some Raquel. I love Rock. But in this scene, I gotta say Rock was dead ass wrong, right? I get it. In your field, what you do, it's all about loyalty, right? But how was Symphony being disloyal to you? Yes, he didn't tell you that he picked up Kanan. I'll give you that, right? But in the same respect, he picked up your son, right? After he got scooped up by the cops, he should have told you. But that should tell you something right there. Hey, he's a loyal dude. Kanan asked him not to tell me. He didn't tell me. And also, he was defending your child. He was defending your son. So I don't get. I mean, I got why Rock was upset, but at the same time, it's not like it's not like he kidnapped Kanan or did something, bad to Kanan. So I got where she was coming from, but I think she was being a little haste. I think she was doing a little too much, right? But you guys, like I said, let me know what you guys think about it. Honestly, I wish she didn't do that, but they broke up, and I was like, oh, I actually would have liked Symphony and Rock together. So we see everybody as a performer, right? So remember, I told you guys that Unique told Scrap and his guy that they were gonna go light that motherfucker up, right? So they snuck in. So Scrap is asking who are they gonna hit, but at this point his guy's not telling him. So they go in the club, and you see Kanan, you see Juke and Fame on stage. Have I? Oh, wait. I got ahead of myself. So, outside of the club, there was this guy trying to get in, and a whole commotion erupted, right? Because Lou came out there and said, absolutely no weapons are supposed to come in, right? So then, one of the guys is talking shit, and so Rock walks up. So then they went in and they went inside. Rock, she notices Howard's partner, Bert. She walked over to Bert. She tells Bert to tell him the most dangerous place to be is between a mother and her child, which that is true. Truer words have never been spoken, right? So once inside, you remember the guy that I just told you guys about that was making a big fuss about not being able to come in with his gun. So he actually started hitting on Jessica, and he hit on Nicole. I'm like, dude, do you not realize that is a kid? But okay, whatever. So Jessica tells him to back the fuck away, and then Jessica tells Crown, have his people step off. He's like, they're just having fun with a minor. Okay. So yeah, now we're back to where Fame and Juke went out to perform. Fame choked, but Juke, she stepped the fuck up and she got the crowd hype, right? So Kanan was vibing to the music until he really listened to the music. I'm like, yep. So like I said a few minutes ago, Scrap and old dude, they were there. They snuck in. Now remember, I told you, Scrap wanted to know who they were going to hit before they got in there. He didn't find out until they got in the club that they were supposed to hit Lou. So, Lou turned around, saw Scrap. Scrap gave him a little nod or something to let him know, hey, they're trying to, he here to fuck you up. So Lou starts to fight, and then they dip out, right? They dip out. And as Scrap and old dude were leaving, they knew that Scrap was a plant by Rock. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, please don't kill Scrap. I actually really like Scrap, right? So then at the end of the episode, we see Kanan. He went over there with Davina. So him and Davina about to get it in. We see Fame in the bathroom with some girl. She giving him a blowjob. We see Juke. She and Nicole. They on the bus together. And we see Lou and Jessica in the backseat of the limo. They getting it in, right? So then Kanan sneaks back in the house. And as he sneaks into the house, there's some screeching. And they say, here's your boy, bitch. And gunshots went out. So Rock and Kanan went outside. And there was a beat up, bloody, damn near naked. Only thing Scrap had on was his drawers. I'm like, oh shit, they fucked Scrap up. And I was looking at the screen. Because I was looking at Scrap's, because right here, it looked like Scrap had a bullet hole in his forehead, but then I saw Scrap breathe. So I'm like, is Scrap? So I'm like, so he's alive. Ooh, interesting, right? And this is all because of Kanan. All because of Kanan. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video and until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, you guys, I'm off. Bye.